What if Leia Organa became Palpatine's apprentice? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The Emperor stands over Princess Leia in her Death Star cell. But he is not here to interrogate her. He is here to offer her everything: power, purpose, revenge. And in her grief-stricken state, broken by Alderaan's destruction, she will accept one conversation, one choice, one moment of weakness. That is all it takes to transform the rebellion's greatest symbol of hope into the Empire's most feared enforcer, the Imperial Arbiter. Palpatine's new apprentice, Vader's replacement. This is the story of how Princess Leia falls to the dark side, how she hunts her own allies, how she faces her brother Luke as an enemy, how she becomes everything she once fought against, and how, when forced to execute Mon Mothma, she finally confronts what she has become. But let's start at the beginning. At the moment when everything changes, the corridors of the Death Star echo with approaching footsteps. Princess Leia stands in her cell, back straight, despite exhaustion, her white senatorial gown stained with dirt and blood. Days of interrogation have not broken her. Vader's mind probes have not broken her. She has remained defiant, strong, unbreakable, until now. The door hisses open. Emperor Palpatine enters, and the air itself seems to thicken. She recognizes him immediately, the architect of the Empire, the destroyer of the Republic, the monster at the center of everything wrong in the galaxy. My dear princess, you have spirit, such strength in one so young. It reminds me of someone I once knew. His voice is a rasp, like dead leaves scraping against stone. There is something hypnotic about it, something that demands attention even as it repulses. Leia forces herself to meet his gaze. His eyes are yellow, sunken deep in a withered face. They seem to see through her, to pierce every defense she has erected. I have nothing to say to you. Her voice is steady, but inside she feels a tremor of fear. Not fear for herself. She has accepted that she might die here. Fear for what this creature represents. Fear that he has already won. Palpatine chuckles, a dry, rasping sound that sends chills down her spine. The sound carries amusement, but also something darker. A knowing quality that suggests he sees something she does not. Oh, but I have much to say to you, child. You felt it, didn't you? The moment Alderaan died, all those voices crying out at once, and then silence. Such pain you carry, such exquisite agony. Leia's composure cracks. She cannot help it. The memory of that moment rises unbidden, overwhelming her carefully maintained control. She had been standing in this very cell when it happened. At first, she felt nothing unusual. Then it hit her like a physical blow. A disturbance in something she did not understand, could not name. Billions of voices, each one distinct for just an instant, crying out in terror and pain. Her mother, her father, friends she had known since childhood, servants who had watched her grow up, children playing in the palace gardens, artists, musicians, farmers, shopkeepers, all of them, every single one, extinguished in a heartbeat. The silence that followed was worse than the screaming. It was absolute, final, a void where a world had been. She had collapsed, unable to breathe, unable to think. When she finally regained her senses, she knew. Somehow, impossibly, she knew. Alderaan was gone. Her world, her home, everything she had ever loved, turned to dust and ashes by this station, by these monsters. You murdered them. Her voice breaks despite her best efforts. You and your empire, your Death Star, this abomination you built to terrorize the galaxy. The Emperor circles her slowly, his yellow eyes studying her with disturbing interest. Each step is measured, calculated. He is enjoying this, she realizes. This is what he does. He finds people's pain, and he feeds on it. Is that what you believe? That I built this station to destroy planets? No, child. This weapon was built to prevent galactic war, to ensure peace through strength, to make conflict so costly that no one would dare wage it. He pauses, letting the words sink in. Leia wants to reject them immediately, but something makes her hesitate. She has spent years in the Senate, watching the endless debates, the political maneuvering, the way systems threatened each other with military action. She has seen how the Clone Wars devastated countless worlds, how the chaos of that conflict created the conditions for the Empire to rise. Could there be even a grain of truth in his words? But your rebellion, he continues, they forced our hand. They stole the plans to this station. They made it a target. They convinced the galaxy that we had built a weapon of terror rather than a tool of peace. And Tarkin, in his infinite wisdom, chose to demonstrate its power, to show what happens when the Empire is threatened. Had your rebel friends not made this station into a symbol, had they not stolen those plans and made themselves into targets, your world would still exist. Your parents would still be alive. Those billions would still draw breath. The words are poison, but they find cracks in Leia's armor. Her mind, trained in politics and strategy, cannot help but follow the logic, even as her heart rejects it. The rebellion did steal the plans. She was carrying them when she was captured. The mission she undertook, the mission that led her here, was designed to exploit the Death Star's existence, to turn it from a deterrent into a target. If she had succeeded, if she had gotten the plans to Obi-Wan Kenobi before being captured, would Tarkin still have destroyed Alderaan? Or would he have chosen a different demonstration of power? You're trying to manipulate me. The words sound weak even to her own ears. I know what you are. You're a Sith, a creature of darkness. You feed on suffering and call it peace. Palpatine smiles, revealing yellowed teeth. The expression transforms his face into something almost skull-like. I am offering you truth, Princess, and power. I sense the Force within you, raw and untamed, but strong, so very strong, stronger than you know. Your sensitivity to the Force is why you felt Alderaan's destruction so keenly, why you carry that pain like a physical weight. Most would have felt nothing, but you experienced every death as if it were your own. He leans closer, his voice dropping to barely above a whisper. Your father was strong, too. The Force flowed through him like a raging river. He could have reshaped the galaxy. In many ways, he did. Leia's blood runs cold. The sudden shift in topic throws her off balance. My father was Bail Organa. He was a great man, a senator who believed in justice and freedom, who fought against tyranny every day of his life. He died because of you. Because of your empire. Because he dared to dream of something better. Palpatine's smile widens. The expression holds satisfaction, as if she has said exactly what he expected. Bail Organa raised you. Yes, a fine man in his way, principled, idealistic, doomed by those very qualities. But he was not your father, child, not by blood. Your true father is much closer than you think. He stands mere corridors away from this very cell. Tell me, have you met Lord Vader? The revelation hits Leia like a physical blow. The cell seems to spin around her. Images flash through her mind unbidden. Vader's obsession with finding her, the way he lingered during her interrogation, silent behind his black mask. The strange sensation she felt in his presence, like a distant echo of something she should recognize but cannot quite place. The way he seemed to hesitate before leaving, as if he wanted to say something but could not find the words. No. She backs away until her shoulders hit the wall. You're lying. It's impossible. It's another trick. Another attempt to break me. The Emperor extends his hand, and Leia feels energy crackling in the air around him. The sensation is electric, terrifying, and somehow seductive. Power, raw and unlimited, dancing at his fingertips. Search your feelings, princess. You know it to be true. Your father, Anakin Skywalker, was once the greatest Jedi Knight in the galaxy, a hero of the Republic. But he fell. He saw the corruption in the Jedi Order, the weakness in the Republic, and he chose power over servitude. He became Darth Vader, my servant, my right hand. And your mother, Padme Amidala, died believing in a republic that was already dead. She died of a broken heart, they say, though I suspect it was more than that. You and your brother were separated at birth to hide you from me, to keep you from your true destiny. But I have found you now. The Force has brought you to me. Leia staggers, her legs threatening to give out. Brother? She has a brother? The revelations keep coming, each one more impossible than the last. Everything she thought she knew about herself is crumbling. Her identity, her history, her very existence, all of it built on lies. Her adoptive parents, whom she loved with all her heart, kept this from her. The Jedi, whom she had hoped might help the rebellion, kept this from her. Everyone lied. Everyone hid the truth from her. Why are you telling me this? The question comes out as barely a whisper. What do you gain by revealing these secrets? Because you have a choice to make, princess. The Emperor's voice takes on an almost gentle quality, though the cruelty beneath never quite disappears. You can rot in this cell, while the rebellion continues its futile war. More worlds will burn, more innocents will die. The rebellion thinks it fights for freedom, but all it brings is chaos, disorder, the very conditions that allowed tyrants to flourish. I have brought order to the galaxy. Harsh order perhaps, but order nonetheless. You can reject that order and watch as everything burns. Or you can learn to wield the power in your blood. You can become strong enough to prevent another Alderaan, strong enough to bring true peace to the galaxy. Not the false peace of the Republic, where corruption festered beneath a veneer of democracy. Real peace, lasting peace. I would never serve you. But even as she says it, doubt creeps in. What if he is right? What if the rebellion's actions do lead to more destruction? What if there is a way to use power to prevent tragedies rather than cause them? Palpatine turns to leave, pausing at the door. His profile is sharp against the harsh light from the corridor. I am not asking you to serve me, child. I am offering to teach you. What you do with that knowledge is your choice. But ask yourself this: how many more Alderaans will your pride cost? How many more families will be destroyed while you cling to the rebellion's failed ideology? How many more innocents must die before you accept that the old ways have failed? The Jedi failed. The Republic failed. Even your adoptive parents, for all their nobility, failed. They could not protect Alderaan. They could not save their people. But you, with the proper training, you could be different. You could actually make a difference. The door closes, leaving Leia alone with her thoughts. The silence is oppressive, broken only by the hum of the Death Star's systems. She slides down the wall until she is sitting on the cold floor, her knees drawn up to her chest. The grief of Alderaan weighs on her like a physical burden. It is not just the deaths, though that alone is unbearable. It is the guilt, the question that torments her every waking moment and haunts her dreams. Could she have prevented it? If she had not joined the rebellion, if she had not carried those plans, if she had found a different path, would her world still exist? The revelation about her parentage churns in her mind. Darth Vader. The name alone inspires terror across the galaxy. The Emperor's enforcer, the symbol of everything the Empire represents. And yet, if Palpatine is telling the truth, this monster is her father. Half of her genetic code comes from him. Does that make her a monster too? Is there darkness in her blood, waiting to emerge? And beneath it all, she feels something else. A flicker of power, of possibility. She has always known she was different, though she could never quite explain how. Moments of intuition that went beyond reason. Times when she knew things she should not know. A sense of connection to the world around her that others did not seem to share. Is this the Force? Is this the power Palpatine speaks of? The dark side. She knows the term from what little she has learned about the Jedi. The corruption that destroyed them. The seductive path that leads to evil. But is all power inherently corrupting? Or is it possible to use power for good? To take strength from pain and anger and transform it into something that protects rather than destroys? She does not know. And in her uncertainty, a seed of possibility takes root. Days pass. Leia marks time by the changing of the guards outside her cell, by the irregular delivery of food that barely qualifies as sustenance. But Palpatine visits regularly, not every day, but often enough that she begins to anticipate his arrival, begins, against her will, to look forward to it. Because when he is gone, she is alone with her grief. But when he comes, he gives her something else to think about. He talks to her, engages her mind, challenges her assumptions. He shows her holovids, carefully curated, of course, but disturbingly effective. Rebel attacks that caused civilian casualties. A bombing of an Imperial depot that killed not just soldiers but also the families who lived in the adjacent housing complex. 37 children dead, their bodies pulled from the rubble. The rebellion claimed it was an accident, collateral damage. But the children were still dead. Another vid shows a rebel raid on a medical facility suspected of treating Imperial officers. The facility did treat Imperial wounded. It also treated civilians, anyone who needed help. The raid destroyed the facility and killed 19 doctors and nurses. The rebellion said it was justified because the facility aided the Empire. But those doctors had taken oaths to heal anyone in need, regardless of politics. They died for following those oaths. This is what your friends are doing, Princess. Palpatine's voice accompanies the images. They claim to fight for freedom, but they bring only death and chaos. They strike at the Empire, but kill the innocent. They say the ends justify the means. But how many children must die for their cause? How many healers must be murdered? At what point does the rebellion become the very thing it claims to fight against? Leia wants to reject the images, to call them propaganda and lies, but she recognizes some of the incidents. She has heard the rebellion's own reports of these operations. Successes, they were called. Strategic victories. The civilian deaths were regrettable but necessary. The same logic the Empire uses. The same justifications that led to Alderaan's destruction. Are they really so different? He shows her evidence of corruption within the rebellion's leadership. Intelligence reports, intercepted communications, financial records. Some of it could be fabricated, but some rings too true to dismiss. Rebel leaders living in luxury, while their soldiers starve. Weapons shipments that never reach the front lines, sold instead to the highest bidder. Information traded to the Empire in exchange for personal gain. The rebellion, like the Republic before it, is not as pure as it claims to be. And slowly, insidiously, his words begin to take root. Leia knows she is being manipulated. She recognizes the psychological warfare, the careful selection of information designed to break down her resistance. But grief and anger cloud her judgment. The pain of Alderaan is too fresh, too raw, and the Emperor's words, twisted though they may be, offer something the rebellion never has: an explanation, a framework for understanding why everything went so wrong, and perhaps, just perhaps, a path to ensuring it never happens again. When Palpatine finally offers to train her, presenting it as a way to infiltrate the Empire and destroy it from within, she finds herself considering it. Not because she believes him, she is not that far gone yet, but because she is desperate to do something, anything, that might prevent another tragedy. Desperate to feel something other than helpless grief. Desperate for power in a galaxy that has taken everything from her. I will learn from you. The words feel like ash in her mouth. But I will never serve the Empire. I will use what you teach me to destroy you from the inside. Do not think for a moment that I am fooled by your words. Palpatine smiles, and for the first time, it seems almost genuine. Of course, my dear, use me. Learn my secrets, and when you are ready, strike me down if you can. I welcome the attempt. It will make you stronger, and strength is all that matters in the end. She does not realize, not yet, that she has already lost. That by accepting his tutelage, even with the intention to betray him, she has taken the first step down a path that has no easy return. The dark side does not work through grand gestures of evil. It works through small compromises, through justifications, through the belief that you can use darkness without being consumed by it. And Palpatine is very, very patient. It begins simply. Meditation techniques to strengthen her connection to the Force. Leia sits in a modified training room, no longer a cell but not quite freedom either. Palpatine guides her voice, instructing her to reach out with her feelings, to sense the life around her. At first, she feels nothing, but gradually, she becomes aware of presences. The guards outside the door, other prisoners in nearby cells, the vast network of people who inhabit the Death Star. Thousands of them, each a tiny spark in the Force. Good. Very good. You have natural talent, as I suspected. Now, feel your emotions. Do not suppress them, as the Jedi teach. Feel them fully. Your anger at the Empire, your grief for Alderaan, your rage at those who destroyed your world. Feel it all. Leia hesitates. Everything she knows about the Jedi, which admittedly is not much, suggests that this is wrong, that emotions lead to the dark side, that a Jedi must be at peace. But the Jedi also failed. They were destroyed, their order scattered, their teachings discredited. Perhaps they were wrong. Perhaps there is another way. She lets herself feel, really feel. For the first time since Alderaan's destruction, the anger comes first, hot and sharp. Anger at the Empire for building the Death Star, at Tarkin for giving the order, at Vader for not stopping it, at herself for being captured, at the rebellion for putting her in this position. The anger builds and builds until it feels like it will consume her. And then, channeling it as Palpatine instructs, she directs it outward. The room shakes. Equipment rattles. A viewport cracks. Energy flows through her, wild and exhilarating and terrifying all at once. She gasps, breaking her concentration, and the phenomenon stops. But the memory of that power remains. The feeling of control, of being able to affect the world around her, of being more than just a helpless prisoner. Excellent. Palpatine's approval washes over her. You see now, emotion is not weakness. It is strength. It is the fuel that powers the Force. The Jedi taught suppression, denial, the rejection of feeling. They called it peace, but it was merely emptiness. You have felt true power now, the power that comes from embracing who you are, what you feel. This is only the beginning. The training continues. Days bleed into weeks. Palpatine teaches her to channel her emotions with precision, to use anger without being consumed by it, to draw on pain without letting it cripple her. He shows her how the Jedi's teachings were incomplete, how they feared emotion, and thus feared true strength, how their fear led to their destruction, how the Sith, by embracing the full spectrum of feeling, became more powerful than the Jedi could ever be. She learns telekinesis first, moving objects with her mind. It starts small, lifting a cup across the room, then heavier objects, equipment, furniture. Eventually, she can lift multiple objects simultaneously, hurling them with enough force to be deadly. The power is intoxicating. She has spent her life at the mercy of others. Her title as princess was ceremonial, her position in the Senate impotent against the Empire's might. But this is real power. Power no one can take from her. he teaches her enhancement, using the Force to augment her physical abilities. She becomes faster, stronger, more agile, a match for trained soldiers despite her lack of combat experience. Her reflexes sharpen until she can dodge blaster fire. Her strength increases until she can overpower opponents twice her size. She runs for hours without tiring, her body sustained by the Force itself. And then he introduces her to more advanced techniques. Force persuasion, the ability to influence weak minds, to plant suggestions, to make others believe what she wants them to believe. At first, she recoils from this. It feels too much like the mind probes Vader subjected her to. But Palpatine frames it differently. This is not torture, it is negotiation, a way to avoid violence by resolving conflicts peacefully, to prevent bloodshed by ensuring cooperation. Is it not better to change a mind than to take a life? She practices on stormtroopers. Simple commands at first. You will lower your weapon. You will let me pass. The troopers, selected for their weak will, comply without hesitation. As her skill grows, the commands become more complex. You will report that you saw nothing. You will forget this encounter. You will question your orders. The power to reshape minds, to alter perceptions, to control others. Is this evil? Or is it merely another tool, its morality determined by its use? Palpatine shows her Force, lightning, the ability to channel energy directly, to attack with the Force itself. This is purely offensive. There is no peaceful application. But when he demonstrates it, when he shows her how it can disable opponents without killing them, how it can be used for interrogation without leaving physical marks, she finds herself justifying it. A weapon is a weapon. A blaster kills. A lightsaber kills. Lightning can kill. But it can also subdue. It can also coerce. Is it any worse than the alternatives? She struggles with this technique more than the others. The lightning requires anger, pure and focused. It requires embracing the dark side fully, without reservation. The first time she succeeds, she feels corrupted. Wrong. The energy that flows from her fingertips is purple-white, crackling and deadly. It leaves her hands smoking, her body trembling. She wants to vomit. But Palpatine praises her, and beneath the revulsion, she feels a thrill. Power. Real, undeniable power. Feel your anger, young one. The Jedi would tell you to let it go, to find peace. But your anger is righteous. It is the anger of justice denied. It is the fuel that will allow you to prevent future atrocities. Channel it. Master it. Use it. And so she does. She tells herself this is temporary, that she is learning the Emperor's secrets to use against him, that she is becoming strong enough to destroy the Empire from within. But with each lesson, each new power, she finds herself drawn deeper into Palpatine's worldview. The lines between right and wrong blur. The certainties she once held begin to waver, and she begins to wonder if maybe, just maybe, the Jedi were wrong about everything. Her training includes combat as well. Lightsaber technique. Palpatine gifts her a red kyber crystal, taken from a fallen Jedi and purified through pain, or corrupted, depending on one's perspective. She constructs her lightsaber under his guidance, pouring her anger and grief into the crystal until it bleeds red. The weapon becomes an extension of herself, an extension of her will. Her pain made manifest. She spars with Imperial guards, with Inquisitors, with droids programmed with the combat data of fallen Jedi. Her style is aggressive, fueled by emotion, relentless. She does not have the refined technique of a trained duelist. Not yet. But she has raw power and an intensity that compensates for lack of experience. She learns to anticipate attacks through the Force, to move before her opponent strikes. She becomes dangerous, deadly, but Palpatine does not push her to embrace the dark side overtly. That is his genius. He never frames it in those terms. He never mentions the Sith or speaks of good and evil. Instead, he speaks of pragmatism, of effectiveness, of doing what must be done to bring order to chaos. He speaks of protecting the innocent, of preventing galactic war, of stability and security. All things Leia wants, all things she has fought for in her own way. He never asks her to commit atrocities. Not at first. Instead, he presents her with scenarios, moral quandaries. A terrorist has planted a bomb in a civilian center. Thousands will die. The terrorist refuses to talk. Do you torture one person to save thousands? A corrupt governor is stealing relief supplies meant for a starving population. Thousands die while he profits. He is protected by law, by bureaucracy. Do you assassinate him to save the people he exploits? A rebel cell plans to bomb an Imperial facility, but the facility also houses a school. Do you warn the Empire, betraying the rebellion, to save the children? Leia finds herself answering yes. Yes to torture. Yes to assassination. Yes to betrayal. Each time, Palpatine has maneuvered her into a position where any choice seems wrong. But one choice is clearly less wrong than the others. Each time, she rationalizes. She justifies. She tells herself that this is different, that her intentions are pure even if her actions are dark. And each time, the next compromise becomes easier. Her first real test comes when Palpatine presents her with intelligence about a rebel cell planning an attack on an orbital station above Coruscant. The station is a combination of military installation and civilian infrastructure. It houses Imperial soldiers and officers, yes, but it also houses civilians, families of Imperial workers, researchers, teachers, a school with 500 children, shops, medical facilities, a small city in orbit. The rebel plan, led by the extremist Saw Gerrera, is to destroy the entire station. The military value is questionable. The station has minimal strategic importance, but Saw argues that it sends a message, that it shows the Empire that nowhere is safe, that it inspires fear, and fear is the weapon of the oppressed. 300,000 people live on that station. Maybe 50,000 are military. The rest are just people trying to live their lives. The rebellion grows desperate. My apprentice. Palpatine's voice is sympathetic, almost regretful. They plan to strike at civilian targets to demoralize the Empire. I could send troops to stop them, but the battle would cause the very casualties we seek to prevent. A fight in the station would kill thousands. Evacuating would alert Saw, and he would simply choose another target. But you could infiltrate their cell, You still wear the face of a rebel princess. They would trust you. You could stop them from within, sabotage the operation, save those lives, prevent another Alderaan. The comparison to Alderaan is deliberate, calculated, and effective. Leia feels the weight of those deaths pressing on her. If she does nothing, 300,000 people will die. Yes, the Empire is evil. Yes, many of those military personnel have committed atrocities. But the children in that school, the families, the shopkeepers and teachers and doctors, they are innocent. As innocent as the people of Alderaan. I will do it. The words come without hesitation. She tells herself, this is the right choice, that saving lives is always right, that she is preventing tragedy. She does not acknowledge, not even to herself, that she has just agreed to betray the rebellion, to act as an Imperial agent, to become what Palpatine has been carefully molding her into. Infiltrating the rebel cell is easier than it should be. Leia escapes from Imperial custody in a carefully staged breakout. She makes her way to the rebel cell's location on a moon of Coruscant. Arriving battered and exhausted, they welcome her with tears and joy. Princess Leia, alive, escaped from the Death Star itself. Her survival is a miracle, a sign that the rebellion can triumph against impossible odds. They celebrate her return. They trust her, absolutely. And she feels their trust like a knife to the heart. Saw Gerrera is exactly what she expected. A man who has been fighting for so long that he has forgotten why he started. A rebel who has become as cruel as the empire he opposes. His face is weathered, scarred from countless battles. His body is more machine than flesh now. Cybernetics replacing limbs lost in the war. But his eyes are the most disturbing. They burn with fanatic intensity, with absolute certainty. He knows he is right, and that certainty justifies anything. Princess, your survival is a miracle. Your presence here is a gift from the Force itself. He clasps her shoulders with mechanical hands. His grip is too strong, painful, though she does not show it. Alderaan's sacrifice will not be in vain. We will make the Empire pay in blood. This station is just the beginning. We will show them that nowhere is safe, that their families are as vulnerable as ours, that they will know the fear they have inflicted on us. Leia listens to his plan and feels sick. He has stolen thermal detonators from an Imperial armory, 20 of them. Enough explosive power to crack the station's hull in multiple locations. The decompression alone will kill tens of thousands. The rest will die when the station's orbit destabilizes and it falls into Coruscant's atmosphere. There is no precision to this attack, no attempt to minimize civilian casualties. It is terror, pure and simple. Revenge dressed up as strategy. She tries to dissuade them, to argue for a different target. There is an Imperial weapons depot on Sullust, purely military, well defended but achievable, or they could target a Star Destroyer under construction. Something that would genuinely hurt the Empire's military capacity without killing innocents. But Saw is unmovable. No, we have tried military targets. We have fought their fleets and died by the thousands. And what has it gained us? Nothing. The Empire grows stronger while we bleed. It is time for a new strategy. Time to show them that we will not be beaten, that we will make them pay for every world they destroy. Alderaan was your home, Princess. Do you not want revenge? Revenge. The word hangs in the air. Does she want revenge? Yes. Part of her wants nothing more than to make the Empire suffer as she has suffered, to make them feel the pain of loss, to tear down everything they have built. But this? Killing children who have done nothing wrong? Murdering families who may not even support the Empire? How is that different from what Tarkin did to Alderaan? I want justice, not revenge. There is a difference. Justice would mean holding Tarkin and Vader and Palpatine accountable. This is just more killing. More innocents dying for a cause they did not choose. Saw's expression hardens. The Empire must learn fear, Princess. Terror is the weapon of the oppressed. It is all we have left. You have been in their custody. You have seen their cruelty firsthand. How can you hesitate now? She cannot explain. Cannot tell him that she has learned fear is not strength, that terror is not justice, that becoming like the Empire in order to defeat it is not victory. He would not understand. He is too far gone, lost in his hatred. So she nods, agrees, pretends to be convinced, and begins planning her betrayal. The next several days are agony. She works alongside the rebels, helping them prepare their attack, learning their plans in detail, identifying the members of the cell, their roles, their capabilities, all information she will need to stop them. And all the while, they treat her like a hero, like a symbol of hope. They share their rations with her, tell her about their families, lost to the Empire, show her pictures of loved ones, talk about their dreams for the future, for a galaxy free from tyranny. One young woman, barely older than Leia herself, shows her a holopic of her brother. He was a student on Alderaan, killed when the Death Star fired. I fight for him, she says, tears in her eyes. So his death means something. So we can build the world he wanted to see. She trusts Leia completely, sees her as a kindred spirit, another survivor of Alderaan's destruction. She has no idea that Leia is about to betray them all. The night before the attack, Leia makes her move. She sabotages the thermal detonators, altering their detonation sequences so they will fail to explode. She corrupts the cell's communications, ensuring they cannot warn each other when things go wrong. And she sends an encrypted message to Imperial security, detailing the attack plan and the cell's location. Then she waits, her heart pounding, for the consequences of her choice. The raid comes at dawn. Stormtroopers breach the cell's hideout with brutal efficiency. The rebels, caught off guard, try to fight back. Blaster fire fills the air. Leia watches from cover, neither helping nor hindering. She tells herself she is saving lives. The lives on that station, the lives of the soldiers who would have died fighting these rebels in a more prolonged conflict. But she cannot ignore the lives she is condemning. Saw Gerrera realizes the betrayal almost immediately. His eyes find Leia across the chaos. There is no surprise in his gaze, only bitter acceptance. Of course, the Empire got to her. They always do. In the end, he fights to the end, taking several stormtroopers with him before they bring him down. He dies still believing in his cause, still certain he was right. The young woman with the brother on Alderaan is captured alive. She looks at Leia with confusion at first. Then, understanding dawns. And then, horror. You betrayed us. How could you? We trusted you. We loved you. My brother died on your world, and you betrayed his memory. Monster, you're as bad as them. Worse, because you pretended to be one of us. The stormtroopers drag her away. She will be interrogated, tortured probably, executed certainly. Leia watches her go and feels nothing. Or rather, she forces herself to feel nothing. To bury the guilt and horror beneath layers of rationalization, she saved 300,000 lives. That has to count for something. That has to justify this. It has to. Later, standing in the secure command center as the station above Coruscant continues its peaceful orbit, Leia watches the families going about their lives. Children playing in the corridors, parents heading to work, people shopping, eating, laughing, all of them alive because of what she did. She saved them. She prevented another tragedy, but the cost weighs on her in ways she did not anticipate. The rebels she betrayed are executed, their bodies displayed as a warning to others. 23 men and women who fought against tyranny, who lost everything to the Empire, dead because of her actions. Their names are released to the public, their crimes detailed. Terrorists, the Empire calls them. Extremists, threats to peace and stability. And Leia helped kill them. Palpatine congratulates her, praising her pragmatism and strength. You made the difficult choice, my apprentice. The choice a true leader must make. You prioritized the many over the few. You acted to prevent catastrophe rather than clinging to idealistic loyalties. This is the burden of power, the weight that comes with making decisions that matter. You have proven yourself worthy of that burden, and Leia feels the line between right and wrong growing blurrier. She has crossed a threshold, committed an act she cannot take back, betrayed people who trusted her, become complicit in their deaths. She tells herself it was necessary, that she had no choice, that the alternative was worse. But deep down, in a part of herself she is learning to ignore, she knows she has lost something, some essential part of her identity, some innocence she will never recover. Months pass. The betrayal of the rebel cell becomes a turning point. Leia is no longer a prisoner. She is Palpatine's apprentice in truth now, though he does not use that title publicly. Instead, he presents her to the galaxy as something more palatable, the Imperial Arbiter, a new position created specifically for her. Her role, as explained to the public, is to investigate corruption within the Empire and to root out extremism on both sides of the war. To be a voice of reason and justice in a galaxy torn by conflict. It is careful branding, designed to make her acceptable to the masses while binding her ever closer to the Empire. And it works. The people, exhausted by years of war, desperate for stability, embrace the idea of an arbiter, someone who will hold both sides accountable, someone who will prioritize peace over politics. That Leia is young and beautiful helps. That she is a survivor of Alderaan gives her credibility. That she speaks of preventing another such tragedy resonates with a fearful populace. Her first public mission reinforces this image, A corrupt imperial governor on Ryloth has been diverting resources meant for the Twi'lek population. Food shipments disappear, medical supplies never arrive. Meanwhile, the governor lives in luxury, his palace filled with stolen goods. The Twi'leks are starving, dying of preventable diseases, while he grows fat on their suffering. Palpatine sends Leia to investigate. She arrives with a small contingent of stormtroopers and finds the evidence within days. The governor's corruption is blatant, barely concealed. He assumed his connections to powerful imperial officials would protect him. He did not account for Leia. She confronts him in his palace, surrounded by the evidence of his crimes. He tries to bribe her, threatens her, claims she has no authority. She responds by arresting him, stripping him of his rank, and seizing his assets to distribute to the people he exploited. The Twi'leks celebrate. Imperial justice, they call it. For once, someone in power held accountable. For once, the Empire protecting rather than exploiting. The holovids spread across the galaxy. The young Imperial Arbiter, standing among grateful Twi'leks, promising that corruption will not be tolerated, that the Empire exists to serve its people, not to abuse them. It is propaganda, of course, but it is effective propaganda. And Leia tells herself that she genuinely helped, that she made a difference, that this is what she can do with power. But not all her missions are so clear-cut. On Lothal, she is sent to eliminate a rebel weapons cache hidden in a factory. Intelligence suggests the rebels are producing thermal detonators, the same weapons Saw Gerrera intended to use. The factory must be destroyed. But the factory also employs hundreds of civilians, workers who may or may not support the rebellion, but who need the jobs to feed their families. Leia evacuates the workers before destroying the facility. She saves their lives. But she also leaves them unemployed in a city where jobs are scarce. She destroys the rebel weapons, preventing future attacks. But she also eliminates a source of income for desperate people. Is this justice? Or is she simply choosing which kind of suffering to inflict? On Nal Hutta, she confronts a Hutt crime lord who has been playing both sides of the war, selling weapons to the Empire while also arming rebels, profiting from the conflict while millions die. He is protected by his status, by treaties that give the Hutts autonomy. But Leia does not care about treaties. She walks into his palace, uses the Force to scatter his guards, and executes him where he sits. Quick, clean, efficient, the criminal underworld recoils. The Empire celebrates. Another threat to stability eliminated. But Leia knows she just assassinated someone without trial, without due process. She became judge, jury, and executioner. She used her power to kill, justifying it by labeling the target as evil. How is that different from what Vader does? How is that different from the Sith? She pushes the doubts away, focuses on the mission, on the results. The Hutt was a criminal. His death saved lives. That is what matters. Not legal niceties, not procedural justice. Results. The Jedi worried about how power was used. The Sith simply used it. She is finding a middle path. Or so she tells herself. With each mission, her reputation grows. Some call her a hero. Others call her a tyrant. The Empire praises her efficiency. The rebellion denounces her as a traitor. And Leia becomes harder, more efficient, more ruthless. She uses the dark side powers Palpatine taught her, without hesitation now. Force choke to subdue resistant subjects, lightning to interrogate suspected conspirators, mind manipulation to extract information or ensure cooperation. She tells herself it is all justified, all necessary, all in service of a greater good. But the truth is, she is becoming what Palpatine always intended, a weapon, a tool of control, someone who will do what must be done without the moral qualms that limit others. She is becoming Sith in all but name, though she does not recognize it, or refuses to recognize it. But Leia is not the Emperor's only apprentice. In the shadows of the Imperial Palace, Darth Vader watches. He has felt a disturbance in the Force for months now, a presence both familiar and foreign. At first, he dismissed it. Some new Inquisitor, perhaps, or a Force-sensitive prisoner being broken for Imperial service. But the presence grows stronger, more defined, and it calls to something deep within him, something he thought long dead. He investigates carefully. Vader has learned caution in his years serving Palpatine. The Emperor does not tolerate curiosity about his plans, does not share information freely, keeps his servants isolated, compartmentalized, easier to control that way. But Vader has resources of his own. Spies, informants, access to databases others do not. And slowly, piece by piece, he assembles the truth. The Emperor has taken a new apprentice, a young woman powerful in the Force, someone Palpatine is personally training, someone he keeps close. Vader feels rage at this betrayal. He is the Emperor's right hand, his most powerful servant. To be replaced, without even being informed, is an insult beyond measure. He will not tolerate it. Vader storms into the throne room, his cape billowing behind him. Palpatine sits on his throne, looking for all the galaxy like a withered old man. But Vader knows better, knows the power that lurks behind that decrepit facade. Still, his anger overrides his caution. Leia stands beside the throne, her hand resting on the lightsaber at her belt, the red blade Palpatine gave her. She watches Vader's approach with a mixture of curiosity and defiance. "What is the meaning of this, my master?" Vader's voice is tight with barely controlled rage. "You take another apprentice without informing me? Without even the courtesy of explaining your intentions? Am I to be cast aside then? After everything I have done? Everything I have sacrificed?" Palpatine's smile widens. He is enjoying this. Vader realizes the conflict, the pain. Palpatine feeds on such things. "Lord Vader, may I present my newest apprentice, the Imperial Arbiter. I believe you two have much in common. More than you know." Vader's attention fixes on the girl. He reaches out with the Force, probing her presence, and feels his artificial heart skip a beat. The signature is unmistakable, similar to his own, yes, but also different, lighter in some ways, despite the darkness Palpatine has cultivated, and reminiscent of someone else, someone whose memory still causes him pain even after all these years. Padme. Impossible. He takes a step forward, his massive frame looming over Leia. She does not flinch, does not retreat, stands her ground, with a courage that reminds him even more of Padme. Who is she? Who are you? Leia steps forward, meeting his gaze through his mask. Her jaw is set in defiance. She does not know the full truth yet. Palpatine has told her that Vader is her father, but she has not fully processed that information, has not allowed herself to feel it. Now, facing him, she feels only anger. I am the Imperial Arbiter, and I am stronger than you know. Vader's rage ignites. Stronger than he knows? This child, this untrained girl, thinks herself his equal. His mechanical systems hiss as he draws upon the Force. If you would replace me, Master, then let her prove herself worthy. Let us see if your new pet has earned her place at your side. Palpatine leans back in his throne, his fingers steepled in a gesture of anticipation. By all means, my apprentices, show me your power. Let us see which of you is truly worthy. The duel erupts with shocking violence. Vader moves with the speed of a predator, his lightsaber igniting with a snap hiss that fills the throne room. His first strike is meant to overwhelm, to break her defense immediately. Pure power, channeled through decades of experience and augmented by cybernetic strength. The blow would kill most opponents outright. But Leia is not most opponents. She has been training for months under the Emperor himself. Her reflexes, enhanced by the Force, allow her to dodge rather than block. She rolls to the side, coming up with her own lightsaber ignited. The red blade hums in counterpoint to Vader's. Father and daughter, separated by lies and manipulation, now facing each other as enemies. Vader presses his attack. His style is overwhelming, each strike designed to batter down defenses through sheer force. He uses his size and strength as weapons, driving Leia back step by step. His blade comes in high, then low, then high again. A rhythm designed to make opponents predictable, to force them into defensive patterns he can exploit. But Leia is faster, more agile. She has studied Vader's fighting style through Imperial records, analyzing every recorded engagement. She knows his patterns, his preferences, his tells. When he feints high, she is already moving low. When he commits to a power strike, she sidesteps and counters. She cannot match his strength, so she does not try. Instead, she uses speed and precision, striking at joints, at the vulnerable points where armor meets flesh, at the systems that keep him alive. You are skilled, girl. Vader's voice carries a note of grudging respect. But skill is not enough against true power. He demonstrates, channeling the Force to lift debris from around the throne room. Chunks of durasteel and plasteel, ripped from decorative columns, hurtle toward Leia. The barrage would crush her if it connected. Leia raises her hand, eyes narrowing in concentration. The debris stops, mid-flight, held by her telekinesis. For a moment, the two forces are evenly matched. Then, drawing on anger and fear and desperation, Leia pushes back. The debris reverses direction, flying at Vader with twice the velocity. Some he deflects with his lightsaber, others he dodges. But one piece catches his shoulder, sending him staggering. The opening is all Leia needs. She leaps forward, her lightsaber flashing in a complex series of strikes. High, low, feint, thrust, slash. Her weapon moves too fast to track. A blur of red light. Vader blocks desperately, his defense momentarily compromised. He recovers quickly, but not before Leia scores a hit. Her blade connects with his helmet, scorching the metal and cracking one of the lenses. For a moment, through the damaged lens, Leia sees the man beneath the mask. Scarred flesh, burned and ruined. A single eye, no longer the blue of Anakin Skywalker, but yellow with Sith corruption. Yet there is something in that gaze, something human, something that looks at her with recognition, with horror, with impossible hope. The Force surges between them, and suddenly, both of them understand. Vader feels it fully now. The connection he has been denying, the truth he has been avoiding. This girl, this fierce and powerful young woman, is his daughter. Not just in the abstract sense Palpatine mentioned. His daughter, the child he never knew he had. Part of Padme, living and breathing and standing before him. The family he thought he lost forever. Leia feels it too. The truth she has been pushing away. This monster, this symbol of imperial tyranny, carries her father's genetic code. More than that. Through the Force, she feels echoes of the man he was. Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi Knight, a hero, someone who fought for justice and freedom, someone not so different from who she wants to be. And she sees what he became. The corruption, the fall, the willing submission to darkness. A cautionary tale, a warning of what she might become if she continues down this path. Leia. Vader's voice breaks, losing its mechanical edge for just a moment. The name is a prayer, a plea, a recognition of something precious and irreplaceable. Daughter, my daughter. How is this possible? Padme's child. You survived. You both survived. He said you died. He said she died. But you're here, alive, strong, everything she should have been. The moment shatters Leia's composure. Emotions cascade through her, too fast and too powerful to process. Grief for the father she never knew. Anger at the monster he became. Confusion about what this means for her identity. Longing for a connection to her birth parents, to know where she came from. And underneath it all, fear. Fear that she is becoming like him, that the darkness in him is also in her, that she is following the same path to the same end. No. She forces the word out, pushing down the maelstrom of feeling. You are not my father. The man who was my father died long ago. You are Vader, a slave to the Emperor, a weapon without will. You chose this. You chose power over love. You let your wife die. You let your children be taken. You became this thing. Do not call me daughter. I am nothing like you. The words strike Vader harder than any lightsaber blow ever could. He staggers back, his breathing ragged and uneven through his damaged mask. Each word is true, each accusation justified. He did choose power. He did fail Padme. He did become a monster. And now his daughter, seeing him for what he is, rejects him, denies their connection. The pain is worse than the burning of Mustafar, worse than the years of torture in this prison of a body. Because this time, he cannot blame anyone but himself. Palpatine's laughter fills the throne room. The sound is cruel and delighted. The Emperor is feeding on their pain, their conflict, growing stronger from it. Excellent, my dear. You see the truth. Vader is indeed a slave, broken and bound to my will. But you have the potential to be so much more. You came to me willingly. You learned from me by choice. Together, we shall reshape the galaxy. Together, we shall bring true order. And, Lord Vader, well, perhaps his usefulness has run its course. Vader looks between his master and his daughter, sees the trap Palpatine has laid, pits his apprentices against each other, ensuring neither grows powerful enough to threaten him, uses their conflict to bind them closer to the dark side, manipulates their emotions to feed his own power. It is a familiar pattern, the same way he turned Anakin Skywalker, the same way he is turning Leia now. And Vader, for all his power, cannot see a way out. He deactivates his lightsaber and turns away, his shoulders heavy with defeat. The duel is over, not because he has been beaten in combat, but because he has been beaten in spirit. His daughter, the one hope he had left, has rejected him, chosen the Emperor over him, become what he became, and he is powerless to stop it. Leia watches him go, her lightsaber still ignited, her heart pounding. She tells herself she feels nothing, that the encounter meant nothing, that Vader is simply the enemy, nothing more. But the lie tastes bitter, and deep inside, in the part of herself she is learning to suppress, she feels something breaking, some connection severing, some possibility dying. She has driven away her father, and she will spend years wondering if that was strength or the greatest mistake of her life. But that revelation must wait. The galaxy does not stop moving for personal epiphanies. News of Leia's turn spreads through the rebellion like wildfire. On Yavin 4, in the hidden base the Alliance has established, Luke Skywalker receives the report with disbelief. He has never met Leia, does not know she exists. Beyond the vague stirrings of connection he has felt through the Force. But when he sees the holovids of the Imperial Arbiter, when he hears her name, something in him recognizes her, knows her, feels drawn to her in a way he cannot explain. She's not gone. His voice is insistent, desperate. She can't be. She's stronger than that. There has to be an explanation. The Emperor is manipulating her, or she's undercover, or something. She wouldn't really join them. Not willingly. Han Solo, who survived the Death Star by the barest margin, who lost friends and comrades in that desperate escape, slams his fist on the table. The holochess pieces scatter. Wake up, kid. I saw the holovids. She's hunting rebels now. She's the Emperor's pet enforcer. The princess we knew, if we ever really knew her, is dead. She made her choice. But Luke cannot accept it, will not accept it. He has lost so much already. His aunt and uncle, murdered by stormtroopers searching for droids. His mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, struck down by Vader. His innocence, shattered by the realities of war. He cannot lose this too. Cannot lose the connection he feels, even if he does not understand it. He retreats to his quarters and meditates, reaching out through the Force in a way Obi-Wan's ghost has been teaching him. He searches through the vastness of space, through the countless lives that shine in the Force like stars in the night sky, searches for one specific presence, and finds her. Leia. The connection between them blazes into existence, bright and undeniable. Twins. They are twins. Brother and sister, separated at birth, now on opposite sides of a galactic war. The revelation should be impossible, but in the Force, it feels right, feels like truth. Luke pours everything into that connection. All his hope, his compassion, his love for family he never knew he had. He does not try to change her mind or convince her of anything. He simply lets her feel his presence, lets her know that she is not alone, that whatever she has done, whatever choices she has made, he still cares. He still wants to know her. He is still her brother. Across the stars, in her quarters on an Imperial Star Destroyer, Leia feels the connection open. At first, she tries to shut it out, to raise barriers and deny its existence. But the warmth is overwhelming, undeniable. It cuts through all her carefully constructed defenses, all the ice she has wrapped around her heart. For the first time since Alderaan's destruction, she feels something other than anger and pain. She feels love, pure, unconditional, familial love, and it terrifies her. She has grown accustomed to the dark side's cold power, has learned to function in that environment, to draw strength from negative emotions. But this warmth feels alien, vulnerable. It reminds her of who she was before, of the girl who believed in hope and justice and freedom, the girl who thought she could change the galaxy through words and ideals, the girl who died when Alderaan burned. She cannot be that girl again. She has gone too far, done too much. The blood on her hands is real. The rebels she betrayed, the people she hurt, the darkness she embraced. You cannot wash that away with warmth and hope. You cannot undo the choices that have already been made. So she forces the connection closed, cutting herself off from her brother's love, and tells herself it is for his own good, that she is protecting him from the monster she has become. But the connection, once established, cannot be fully severed. It remains a lifeline she refuses to grasp, calling to her in her quietest moments. And Luke, feeling her pull away, becomes more determined. If she will not come to him, he will go to her. He will save his sister from the darkness, even if she does not want to be saved. Luke's determination leads to action. He convinces Han and Chewbacca to attempt a rescue mission, despite their reservations. Intelligence suggests Leia will be at an Imperial facility on Corellia, overseeing the interrogation of captured rebels. It is the kind of operation she has become known for, extracting information from prisoners using methods that skirt the line between interrogation and torture. Luke knows it is likely a trap. The Empire knows he and Leia are connected through the Force, knows he will come for her. But he goes anyway, because she is family. Because family does not abandon each other. The infiltration goes poorly from the start. The facility's security is tighter than expected. The guards more alert. Alarms blare almost immediately as Han and Chewie fight their way through waves of stormtroopers. Blaster fire echoes through corridors of sterile white. The smell of ozone and burned plasteel fills the air. They are outnumbered, outgunned, and trapped in a facility designed to prevent exactly this kind of incursion. Luke races ahead, following the Force connection that pulls him deeper into the complex. He can feel Leia's presence like a beacon, bright and cold and tinged with darkness. She knows he is coming, has known since the moment his ship entered orbit. And she has been waiting, not to flee, not to hide, to confront him, to prove to herself and to him that she has truly changed. He finds her in an interrogation chamber, standing over a captured rebel pilot. The pilot is strapped to a chair, his face bruised and bloodied. He has been here for days, judging by his condition. Leia's back is to the door, but she does not turn as Luke enters. Does not need to. She felt him coming long before he arrived. Leia. His voice is gentle, pleading. We're getting you out of here. Whatever they've done to you, whatever they've made you believe, it's not too late. Come with us. Come home. She turns slowly, and Luke gets his first good look at his sister. She is beautiful, he thinks, though that beauty is marred by hardness around her eyes. She wears black robes reminiscent of a Jedi, but darker, more austere. A lightsaber hangs at her belt, red crystal visible through the hilt's casing. Everything about her screams danger. But Luke also sees pain, loneliness, a desperate need for connection she refuses to acknowledge. Leia's expression hardens as she meets his gaze. I am exactly where I choose to be, Rebel. This is my home now. This is where I belong. Luke shakes his head, refusing to believe what he is seeing. No, you're being manipulated. The Emperor is using your pain against you, using your grief for Alderaan to turn you into something you're not. I know you feel it too. This connection between us, we're family, Leia, brother and sister, twins. We're supposed to be together, not fighting on opposite sides of a war. Connection? Leia's laugh is bitter. You're delusional. We are nothing to each other. Genetic accidents, born to a failed Jedi and a naive senator, separated because we were too dangerous to keep together. There is no bond here, just the desperate fantasy of a farm boy playing at being a Jedi. The words are meant to hurt, to drive him away, to sever the connection before it can weaken her resolve. But even as she says them, Leia feels their falseness. She does feel the bond. It calls to her constantly, offering warmth and acceptance she has not felt in so long. But accepting that bond means acknowledging what she has become, means facing the darkness inside her, and she is not ready for that. May never be ready. Behind Luke, Han and Chewie arrive. Blasters raised. They take in the scene, the tension between the twins, and position themselves to provide cover. But Han's eyes are fixed on Leia, searching for some sign of the woman he fell in love with. The princess who saved his life on the Death Star, who called him a stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder, who kissed him for luck before he went into danger. She is in there somewhere. He has to believe that. Leia. Han's voice cracks, betraying the emotion he usually keeps buried. You came. How touching, how very predictable. The great Han Solo, charging in to save the damsel in distress. Did you really think it would be that easy? Han's blaster wavers. He cannot bring himself to aim it directly at her, despite everything. Leia, please, this isn't you. The woman I knew believed in something, fought for freedom and justice, cared about people. Come with us. We'll figure this out together, like we always do. Night. Gride. Light. Dint. Ride. Rind. Lined. Light. Grind. Rhine. Lined. Leia takes a step forward, her voice softening just slightly. The change is almost imperceptible, but Han notices. He has always been good at reading people. And despite the changes, Leia is still Leia in some ways. I am offering you the same choice the Emperor gave me, Han. see reason. The rebellion cannot win. You are outnumbered, outgunned, and out of time. The Emperor grows stronger every day. His control extends to every corner of the galaxy. Join me. Together, we can bring real peace. Peace through order. Peace through strength. The words are Palpatine's, spoken in Leia's voice. The rhetoric of the Empire, justified and rationalized until it sounds almost reasonable. Han's heart breaks hearing them. This is not just manipulation. This is belief. She has genuinely convinced herself that the Empire's way is right. That order justifies tyranny. That peace is worth any price. That's not peace, your worship. Han's voice is thick with unshed tears. That's tyranny dressed up pretty. That's control masquerading as security. The Leia I knew would never accept that, would never trade freedom for safety, would never become the very thing she fought against. The Leia you knew was weak. She believed in ideals while the galaxy burned. She thought speeches and debates could change hearts. She was naive, foolish, a child playing at politics. I have become stronger. I have become what the galaxy needs, what my people needed, but I was too blind to see. If I had been strong enough, Alderaan might still exist. She raises her hand, and stormtroopers flood into the chamber. Dozens of them, weapons trained on the intruders. Han and Chewie open fire immediately, their blasters cutting down several troopers. But more keep coming, pouring through every entrance. Luke ignites his lightsaber, the blue blade a stark contrast to the red of Leia's. I'm not leaving without you. His stance is defensive, protective. He will not attack his sister, no matter what she has become. Then you will die here. Leia ignites her own lightsaber. The red blade seems to drink in the light around it. For just a moment, she hesitates. Can she really do this? Can she really fight her own brother? But then she remembers Palpatine's teachings. Attachment is weakness. Sentiment is a chain. To be truly strong, you must be willing to do what others cannot. Even if that means cutting down your own family, they fight. Not like enemies trying to kill each other, but like two people who desperately do not want this confrontation but see no other choice. Luke's style is defensive, focused on protection and deflection. He blocks her strikes, but does not counter, does not try to harm her. Every movement is designed to disarm, to subdue, to end the fight without injury. He is trying to save her even while fighting her. Leia's style is aggressive, fueled by anger and pain. Each strike is meant to overwhelm, to break through his defenses, but she finds herself pulling her strikes at the last moment, unable to commit fully to killing him. The internal conflict slows her, creates hesitation in her technique. She is fighting herself as much as him, and both of them know it. Behind them, Han and Chewie are being overwhelmed. Too many stormtroopers, too little cover. Blaster fire fills the air, and it is only a matter of time before one of them gets hit. The situation is deteriorating rapidly, and Luke knows they need to retreat. But how can he leave his sister behind? How can he abandon her to this fate? I can feel your conflict. Luke's voice is gentle even as their blades lock together. You're not as lost as you think. You still feel the light. It's there, buried beneath the pain and anger. You just have to reach for it. Leia's response is a force push that sends Luke crashing into the wall. The impact knocks the wind out of him. and his lightsaber skitters across the floor. You know nothing about what I feel, nothing about what I've been through. You've been training for months. I've been broken and rebuilt. You still have your illusions. I have only reality. But even as she advances on him, lightsaber raised, she cannot strike the killing blow. She stands over him, weapon humming, and finds herself frozen, unable to end him, unable to do what the dark side demands. And in that moment of hesitation, she reveals more truth than any words could convey. She is not as far gone as she pretends. The light is still there, buried deep but not extinguished. The battle spills into the hangar bay. Han and Chewie, falling back under heavy fire, make for the Millennium Falcon. The ship waits with engines hot, ramp lowered, ready for immediate departure. Lando Calrissian, who joined the rebellion after losing Cloud City to the Empire, lays down covering fire from the ship's guns. Turbolaser blasts tear through stormtroopers and support structures alike. Luke scrambles to his feet and runs for the ship, Leia in pursuit. She could catch him easily with the Force, could bring him down with lightning or telekinesis, but she does not. She chases him but somehow never quite closes the distance. They race through the hangar, their lightsabers dancing as they exchange strikes in motion, red and blue light painting strobing patterns across the walls. Please. Luke reaches the ramp and turns back, extending his hand. I'm your brother. We're family. That has to mean something. Don't let the Emperor take that away from us. Leia freezes at the base of the ramp. Brother. The word echoes in her mind. Fighting against all the walls she has built, she sees the earnest hope in Luke's eyes, so different from the cold calculation and manipulation she has grown used to in the Empire. She feels the warmth of his presence in the Force, offering acceptance, without judgment, without conditions, just pure, familial love. For a moment, her resolve wavers. She sees a different path, one where she goes with him, returns to the rebellion, tries to find redemption for everything she has done. Luke would help her. She can feel that certainty through their bond. Han would forgive her, eventually. They could be a family, could fight together against the Empire. But then she remembers Alderaan. The billions of voices, crying out, and then falling silent. Her failure to prevent that tragedy, the weakness that left her powerless. And she remembers the strength she has gained since. The power to actually make a difference, to prevent future atrocities. She cannot give that up, cannot return to being weak. Even if it means losing the only family she has left, then you should understand why I'm doing this. Her voice cracks despite her efforts to stay cold. I am preventing more tragedies. I am making the galaxy safe. If you truly cared about me, if you truly wanted what's best for the galaxy, you would help me. You would join me. Together, we could end this war, could bring peace. But you're too blinded by your ideals to see it. Luke's shoulders slump in defeat. He sees the certainty in her eyes, knows he cannot reach her. Not today, perhaps not ever, but he refuses to give up hope. Han grabs his arm, pulling him toward the ship. Come on, kid. She's made her choice. We can't save her if she doesn't want to be saved. We need to go. Now. They escape, barely. The Falcon's shields absorb punishing fire as Lando pilots them out of the hangar. Leia watches them go, standing alone surrounded by stormtroopers. She deactivates her lightsaber, her hands trembling. She tells herself it is anger at their escape, frustration that she let them get away. But deep down, she knows the truth. It is regret, sorrow, the ache of a choice made that can never be unmade. After they are gone, Leia stands in the empty hangar for a long time. The stormtroopers disperse, following their orders. The facility returns to its normal operations. The captured rebel pilot is processed and sent off for further interrogation elsewhere. Everything continues as it should, but Leia feels something has changed. Some crack has appeared in her armor, and she fears what will happen if it widens. Palpatine is pleased with her performance. He summons her to his throne room aboard his personal Star Destroyer and congratulates her on resisting her brother's manipulation. "You have done well, my apprentice. You faced the ultimate test, the call of familial bonds, and you remain true to our cause. Many would have wavered, would have been swayed by sentiment and nostalgia. But you understand what must be done. You understand that personal connections are chains that bind us to weakness." But even as he speaks, Palpatine sees the doubt in Leia's eyes, sees the crack that has appeared in her commitment. He has been manipulating people for decades, reading their weaknesses and exploiting them. And he knows that Leia, for all her power and training, is approaching a breaking point. The darkness he has cultivated in her is not natural, not fully integrated into her identity. It is a shell wrapped around pain and grief, and shells can crack. He needs to cement her loyalty before it is too late, before Luke's persistence wears away at her defenses, before she has time to question the path she has chosen. He needs her to commit an act so terrible, so irrevocable, that she can never turn back. An act that will bind her to the dark side forever. You have proven your strength, my apprentice. But the time has come for your final test. There are rebel prisoners in the detention center of this vessel. Their leader is Mon Mothma, one of the founders of their futile alliance. She has been captured, attempting to negotiate a treaty with neutral systems. Execute her publicly. Show the galaxy that you have truly embraced your destiny, that you have cast aside all weakness and sentimentality. Do this, and your transformation will be complete. The order is delivered casually, as if he is asking her to review supply reports. But Leia feels the weight of it like a physical blow. Mon Mothma was more than just a rebel leader. She was a friend of Bail Organa, a woman who fought alongside him in the Senate, who believed in the same ideals. A woman Leia met many times as a child, who told her stories and treated her with kindness. Executing her would not be an act of war. It would be murder, cold-blooded and deliberate, and it would be a point of no return. Leia has done terrible things already. Betrayed rebels, killed enemies, used dark side powers without hesitation. But she has always been able to justify those actions. They were military targets, combatants, threats. Mon Mothma is none of those things. She is a prisoner, helpless. Executing her would be an act of pure evil, and no amount of rationalization could change that. Leia bows her head, hiding her expression from the Emperor. "I will do as you command, Master." The words feel like poison on her tongue. But what choice does she have? To refuse would be to reveal her doubt, her weakness. And Palpatine does not tolerate weakness in his servants. She has seen what happens to those who fail him. to those who try to leave. There is no escape from the Emperor's service except through death. She makes her way to the detention level, her mind in turmoil. Every step feels heavier than the last. The corridors of the Star Destroyer seem to close in around her, oppressive and suffocating. She passes stormtroopers and officers, all of whom salute her with respect. They see the Imperial Arbiter, the Emperor's enforcer, a symbol of power and authority. They do not see the young woman struggling with her conscience, fighting against the darkness that threatens to consume her completely. She finds Mon Mothma in a cell deep in the detention block. The older woman sits on a narrow bunk, her white, senatorial robes stained and torn. But despite her imprisonment, despite the fear she must feel, she maintains her dignity. Her back is straight, her gaze steady. She looks up as Leia enters, and sadness fills her eyes. Not surprise, not fear, just profound sadness. So it is true. Bail's daughter has become the Emperor's executioner. Her voice is gentle, without accusation, just a statement of fact. And somehow that makes it worse. If she had raged, if she had cursed Leia, it would be easier. But this quiet acceptance, this compassionate understanding of how far Leia has fallen, cuts deeper than any insult could. Leia's hand tightens on her lightsaber hilt. Do not speak of my father. He was weak. His ideals died with Alderaan. All his talk of justice and democracy. And where did it get him? His world burned. His people massacred. His daughter turned into this. His ideals were lies. Beautiful lies that accomplish nothing. Mon Mothma shakes her head slowly, rising to her feet despite the chains that bind her wrists. No, child. His ideals live on in everyone who resists tyranny. They live on in the young man who tried to rescue you, in the smuggler who risks his life for a cause he once scorned, in the billions across the galaxy who refuse to bow to the Empire. And they live on in you, buried beneath the pain and anger. Bail's teachings are still there. Breha's love is still there. You have not lost them completely, no matter how hard you try. You know nothing about me. Leia's voice rises, anger flaring. You speak of love and ideals as if they matter, as if they change anything. Alderaan is gone. My parents are dead. The republic they believed in was a lie. And the rebellion you lead brings only more death and suffering. I have seen the casualties of your operations, the civilians caught in crossfire, the innocents killed by your bombs. You claim moral superiority while your hands are as bloody as the Empire's. Mon Mothma does not deny it. Her expression remains sad but accepting. You are right. The rebellion has caused suffering, has made mistakes, has killed innocents. War is a terrible thing, and there are no clean hands in it. But there is a difference between causing suffering while fighting for freedom and causing suffering to maintain control. Between mistakes made in desperation and atrocities committed by design. She takes a step closer, moving as close as her chains allow. I know you are afraid, Leia. Afraid that if you stop moving, if you stop fighting, you will have to face what you have become. Will have to confront the choices you have made, the people you have hurt. It is easier to keep going, to bury yourself deeper in the darkness, than to face that pain. I understand that. After the Clone Wars, after watching the Republic fall, I felt that same temptation. To give up, to accept that tyranny had won. But I did not, and neither did Bail. We kept fighting because we knew that the alternative was worse than any pain we might feel. The words chip away at Leia's defenses. Finding the cracks, Luke opened. She wants to reject them, to dismiss them as manipulation, but she cannot, because part of her, the part she has been trying to kill, knows Mon Mothma is right, knows that she has been running from herself, from the guilt and shame and horror of what she has done, and stopping, turning around to face it, seems impossible. Your mother would be heartbroken to see you like this. Mon Mothma's voice drops to barely above a whisper. Padme Amidala was my friend. We served in the Senate together. She was brilliant, compassionate, brave. She fought for justice until her dying breath. And even at the end, even after everything Anakin did, she still believed in the good in him, still loved him. Do you think she would want this for her daughter? Do you think she would want you to follow Anakin's path? To make his mistakes? To become what he became? The mention of Padme strikes something deep inside Leia. She has never known her birth mother. Only images and stories, holo-recordings of Senate speeches, tales of her work during the Clone Wars. A few precious holographs showing a beautiful young woman with kind eyes. Leia has studied those images obsessively, searching for some connection to a mother she never knew, some sense of who she might have been if things had gone differently. And the idea that Padme would be disappointed in her, that thought cuts through all her defenses. Would her mother be proud of what she has become? Would Padme Amidala, who believed in democracy and freedom, approve of her daughter becoming the Emperor's enforcer? Would she understand the choices Leia has made? Or would she weep, as Mon Mothma suggests? My mother believed in a lie. Leia's voice is hollow now, the anger draining away. The Republic was already dead, corrupt and weak and unsalvageable. The Jedi failed. The Senate failed. Everything she fought for came to nothing. What good did her ideals do? What did her compassion achieve? She died of a broken heart while the galaxy burned around her. That is the legacy of the light side. Failure and death. Mon Mothma's chains rattle as she lifts her hands, reaching toward Leia, though the distance is too great to bridge. Padme's legacy is not failure. Her legacy is you and your brother. Two children who could bring balance to the Force, who could restore what was lost. Luke already fights for that future, and you could too, if you chose. It is never too late to turn back, Leia. Never too late to choose light over darkness. Redemption is always possible. Then kill me. Mon Mothma's voice is steady, resolved. Prove that you are truly lost. Prove that the Emperor has succeeded in destroying Bail and Breha's daughter, Padme and Anakin's daughter. But know this, child. Every execution, every act of tyranny you commit in the name of order is another chain binding you to darkness. Eventually, there will be too many chains to break. Eventually, you will be trapped completely, as Vader is trapped. Do not let that happen. Do not throw away your humanity for power. Please. Leia raises her lightsaber, hand trembling. The blade ignites with a snap, hiss, that sounds too loud in the small cell. Red light washes over Mon Mothma's face, casting harsh shadows. She can feel Palpatine watching through the Force, expectant and eager, can feel the dark side urging her forward, promising strength if she just commits this final act. All she has to do is strike. One quick motion, and it will be done. Mon Mothma will be dead. The test will be passed. Her transformation into a Sith will be complete. But she hesitates. Images flash through her mind, faster than thought. Bail Organa, teaching her about justice and fairness, showing her that power should be used to protect, not to control. Breha Organa, demonstrating compassion and mercy, showing her that strength comes from lifting others up, not tearing them down. Luke, reaching out to her with unconditional love, accepting her despite everything she has done, offering family when she thought she had none left, and beneath it all, a memory she should not have, or perhaps a vision, granted by the Force, Padme Amidala, holding her as an infant, looking down at her with infinite love and hope, whispering words Leia could not possibly remember but somehow knows are true. You will be strong, my daughter, stronger than me, stronger than your father, strong enough to resist the darkness, strong enough to choose your own path. I love you. Always remember that. I love you. The lightsaber wavers. Leia's breathing becomes ragged, her chest tight. She can feel tears, threatening, hot and unwelcome. She despises herself for the weakness, has trained herself not to cry, not to show emotion except as a weapon. But the tears come anyway, burning tracks down her cheeks. Her hand shakes so badly that the lightsaber's blade trembles, its hum oscillating. I cannot. The words are barely a whisper, torn from somewhere deep inside her. The lightsaber deactivates, clattering to the floor as her fingers go numb. I cannot do this. I thought I could. I thought I was strong enough, but I am not. I am not strong enough to kill you. I am not strong enough to complete my transformation. I am weak, just like my father was weak, just like the Jedi were weak. I am a failure. Mon Mothma's expression softens with compassion, not triumph. That is because you are your father's daughter, Bail's daughter, not Vader's apprentice, not Palpatine's weapon. No matter how far you have fallen, that core remains. The love and principles your parents instilled in you are still there. You have not killed them completely, and that means you can come back. You can still choose differently. Leia drops to her knees, sobs racking her body. All the grief she has been suppressing, all the guilt and shame and horror comes flooding out. She weeps for Alderaan, for the billions who died, for the rebels she betrayed, who trusted her and died because of that trust, for the darkness she embraced, the power she wielded without restraint, for the person she has become so far from who she wanted to be, for the family she has driven away, for the future she has destroyed with her choices. Mon Mothma moves closer, limited by her chains, but offering what comfort she can. It is all right. Let it out. You have been carrying this pain for so long, bearing it alone. But you do not have to anymore. There are people who want to help you, who will help you, if you let them. But before Leia can respond, before she can begin to process what is happening, the cell door bursts open. Luke rushes in, lightsaber ignited, his face set with determination. Behind him, Han and Chewie lay down, covering fire in the corridor, holding back stormtroopers. They came back. Despite the danger, despite the near certainty of failure, they came back for her. Step away from her, Leia. Luke's voice is firm but not threatening, commanding but not cruel. You don't have to do this. You never had to do any of this. The Emperor lied to you, manipulated you, used your grief against you. But it is not too late. You can still choose differently. Please, sister, come with us. Leia stares at him through tear-blurred eyes. Her brother, the family she drove away, the connection she denied. He should hate her, should want her dead after everything she has done. But instead, he is here, risking his life, offering redemption, offering a second chance she does not deserve. Luke, her voice breaks. I have done terrible things, hurt people, killed people, betrayed everything Bail and Breha taught me. I do not deserve your forgiveness, do not deserve to be saved. Luke advances slowly, his lightsaber still ignited but pointed at the ground, non-threatening. That is not your choice to make. Forgiveness is mine to give, and I give it freely. You are my sister, my family. And family does not abandon each other no matter what. Now please, take my hand. Let me help you. His hand extends toward her, steady and certain. An offering, a lifeline. The choice is hers. She can take his hand, can accept his help, can try to find redemption, or she can reject him again, can complete her transformation into what Palpatine wants her to be. Everything hinges on this moment, on this choice. But before she can decide, Palpatine's presence floods the chamber like a tidal wave of darkness. The temperature drops, the lights flicker. Reality itself seems to bend under the weight of his fury. He appears in the doorway, his face twisted with rage that makes him look more corpse than man. His yellow eyes burn with Sith fire. Traitor. The word is filled with venom. I have given you everything. Power beyond imagining. Purpose when you were lost. Strength to shape the galaxy. And you repay me with weakness? With sentiment? With this pathetic display of emotion? You disgust me. Lightning erupts from his fingertips, brilliant and deadly. But the target is not Luke or Leia. It is Mon Mothma. The bolts strike the older woman, lifting her off her feet. She screams, her body convulsing as electricity courses through her. The smell of burning flesh fills the cell. Palpatine is going to kill her, slowly and painfully, as punishment for Leia's failure. Leia moves without thinking. Pure instinct takes over, bypassing all conscious thought. She throws herself between Palpatine and Mon Mothma, her arms spread wide. The lightning strikes her instead, and agony explodes through her body. Every nerve ending screams. Her muscles lock. Her heart stutters. But she does not fall, does not move aside. She holds her position, using her body as a shield. No more. The words are forced out through clenched teeth. I will not be your weapon. Not anymore. I refuse. The declaration is simple, final. And in that moment, everything changes. Leia feels the dark side retreating. The chains Palpatine wrapped around her beginning to loosen. The power she has been wielding, the strength she thought came from anger and hate, reveals itself for what it truly is. A leash. a control mechanism, Palpatine's power, not her own, and she rejects it. Palpatine's rage intensifies. The lightning increases in power, becoming a torrent. Foolish girl, you think you can defy me? You are nothing without my training, nothing without the power I gave you. You will die here, broken and forgotten. A cautionary tale for future apprentices. The Emperor unleashes the full fury of his power. Decades of dark side mastery channeled into destroying her. Lightning fills the chamber, overwhelming Leia's defenses. Her skin blisters. Her hair smokes. The pain is beyond anything she has ever experienced, beyond anything she thought possible. She falls to her knees, her body failing. She cannot hold the lightning back much longer, cannot protect Mon Mothma, cannot survive. But then Luke is there, his lightsaber intercepting the lightning. The blue blade catches and disperses the energy, giving Leia a moment to breathe. Brother and sister, standing together for the first time, facing the most powerful Sith Lord in the galaxy. Luke glances at her, and despite the desperate situation, he smiles, a smile of hope and faith and love. Together, his voice is steady, confident, as if he never doubted this moment would come. Leia struggles to her feet, retrieving her lightsaber from where it fell. She ignites the blade, red light joining Luke's blue. Together, their lightsabers move in concert, a harmony neither has practiced, but that comes naturally through their force bond. Luke is defensive, protecting and deflecting. Leia is aggressive, attacking and driving forward. Light and shadow, Jedi and almost Sith, two halves of a whole, finally united. They force Palpatine back step by step, their combined power matching his. But Palpatine is immensely powerful, more powerful than either of them realized. He has been practicing the dark arts for longer than they have been alive, has killed Jedi Masters and Sith Lords alike, has toppled governments and reshaped galaxies. Two untrained children, no matter how strong in the Force, should be nothing to him. He channels lightning from both hands, targeting them separately, forces them to divide their attention. Then he uses telekinesis, hurling debris and furniture at them from all angles. He attacks their minds, pressing against their thoughts with his will. And slowly, inevitably, he begins to overwhelm them. They are strong, but he is stronger. They are determined, but he is ancient and patient and cruel. Just when it seems they will be defeated, another presence enters the chamber. Darth Vader, his cape billowing, his mechanical breathing loud in the sudden quiet. He takes in the scene with a glance. The Emperor torturing his children. Luke and Leia fighting side by side against impossible odds. Mon Mothma injured, but alive. And he knows what he must do. Vader, destroy them. Destroy the traitors who would undermine our empire. Show them the price of defying their emperor. But Vader looks at Palpatine, then at his children. Sees Luke, brave and noble, everything a Jedi should be. Sees Leia, scarred by darkness but fighting her way back to light. Sees the family he thought he lost forever. The future he believed was dead, and he remembers why he fell in the first place. Not for power, not for the dark side, but to save the ones he loved. For so long, he has served Palpatine without question, became a monster to save Padme, and when that failed, continued, because he had nothing else. No hope, no love, no reason to be anything other than a weapon. But now, seeing his children, he remembers what it felt like to have something worth protecting. Something more important than power, or the Empire, or even his own life. No. The single word hangs in the air, heavy with meaning. Palpatine's satisfaction turns to shock, then fury. "What did you say?" His voice is dangerous, promising death. "I said no, my master." Vader's voice is steady, certain. "No more. I will not destroy my children. I will not serve you any longer. I choose them. I choose family. I choose love." Something you can never understand. Vader ignites his lightsaber and charges the Emperor. The betrayal catches Palpatine off guard. Just for a moment, long enough for Vader's blade to slash across the Emperor's arm, drawing a shriek of pain and fury. Lightning erupts in response, striking Vader with terrible force. His systems overload immediately, alarms blaring within his armor. Sparks fly from joints. His breathing apparatus stutters, but Vader does not stop, does not fall. He endures the lightning, his armor taking damage it was never designed to withstand. Pushes forward through pain that would kill most beings. Gives Luke and Leia the opening they need. The chance to strike, while the Emperor is distracted. He is sacrificing himself, burning out his life to save theirs. "Run, both of you. I will hold him as long as I can." His voice is already degrading, the vocabulator failing. "Please, be better than I was. Do not make my mistakes. Live, love. Be the heroes this galaxy needs." Leia stares at the man who is her father. The monster who has haunted her nightmares since she learned his identity. The symbol of everything wrong with the Empire. And she sees past all that to the man beneath, Anakin Skywalker. A Jedi who fell. A husband who lost everything. A father who never knew his children. A slave who is choosing, in this final moment, to be free. "Father." The word is torn from her, filled with a lifetime of conflicting emotions. Grief for what might have been, anger at what was, regret for time wasted, love for family never known, forgiveness for sins that seemed unforgivable. Vader turns his head slightly, and through the damaged helmet, she sees his eye. There is pain there, worse than any physical agony. Regret that cuts deeper than any blade, but also peace, acceptance. He is dying, his systems failing, his body giving out. But he is dying free, dying for something that matters, dying as Anakin Skywalker, not Darth Vader. "Go, be better than I was. Protect your brother. Honor your mother's memory." The words come with difficulty, his breathing becoming labored. His chest heaves, each breath an effort. "I am proud of you. Both of you. Always know that. Your father is proud." Luke grabs Leia's arm, tears streaming down his face. "We have to go. We cannot help him. His sacrifice cannot be in vain. Please, Leia, we have to run." They run, Luke practically dragging Leia away. The sounds of battle echo behind them, Vader's final stand against his master. Palpatine's lightning intensifies, turning from painful to lethal. Vader's armor begins to melt, the systems failing catastrophically. But he does not retreat, does not fall, stands his ground, giving his children every second he can. Han and Chewie meet them at the Falcon, engines already roaring. The ship lifts off even as they scramble up the ramp, blaster fire chasing them. Lando at the controls, pushing the ship to its limits. They blast through the hangar bay shields, alarms screaming. TIE fighters scramble to pursue, but the Falcon is already jumping to hyperspace, leaving the Imperial fleet behind. As they escape, Leia watches the Star Destroyer through the viewport, and she feels it through the Force. The moment when Vader falls, when his damaged systems finally give out and his heart stops, when the man who was Anakin Skywalker becomes one with the Force, she feels his passing like a physical wound, a connection severed, a presence gone. But she also feels something else. Not just death, but fulfillment. Vader died free, died choosing love over power, died protecting his children in his final moments. He was not a Sith Lord. He was a father. And that, somehow, makes all the difference. She collapses in the Falcon's hold, sobs, racking her body. Luke sits beside her, pulling her close. Neither speaks. Words are inadequate. They simply hold each other. Two orphans who just lost their father. Two siblings who finally found each other. Two Force users who must now figure out how to live with the choices they have made. And in the explosion that rocks the Star Destroyer moments later, Leia feels another presence. Wink out. Palpatine, the Emperor, the architect of so much suffering. Whether Vader's final act killed him or whether he destroyed himself trying to maintain his power, the result is the same. The Sith Lord is dead. The chains he wrapped around the galaxy are beginning to loosen, but Leia knows that the damage cannot be undone so easily. The Empire will not fall just because its master is dead. And her own sins, the acts she committed in Palpatine's service, cannot be washed away with his death. She will have to answer for what she has done, face the consequences of her choices, try to find redemption in a galaxy that has every right to condemn her. Weeks pass in a blur. The Alliance deals with the fallout of Palpatine's death. The power vacuum creates chaos across the galaxy. Some Imperial officers try to seize control. Others defect or surrender. The rebellion capitalizes on the confusion, liberating systems and striking at weakened Imperial strongholds. It is a time of transition, of possibility, but also of danger. And through it all, Leia must face judgment. She stands before the Rebel Alliance leadership on a liberated world. No longer a prisoner, but not exactly free either. Mon Mothma is there, still bearing the scars from Palpatine's lightning. Admiral Akbar, General Madine, dozens of others who have fought against the Empire, many of whom have lost friends and family to the Imperial Arbiter's actions. They have every reason to execute her as a traitor. She has hunted them, killed their people, served the Emperor willingly. The evidence is damning, recorded in countless reports and holovids. She does not deny any of it, stands before them and admits to everything, holding nothing back. The rebels she betrayed, the operations she sabotaged, the prisoners she interrogated, the power she wielded without restraint. The trial is not swift. It lasts days, with witness after witness testifying. Some speak of her crimes, describing operations she disrupted and lives she ended. Others speak in her defense, including Mon Mothma, who tells of how Leia sacrificed herself to protect her from the Emperor. Luke refuses to leave her side, insisting that she deserves a chance at redemption. Han's testimony is the most painful. He speaks of the woman he loved, the princess who inspired him to join the rebellion. And he speaks of her betrayal, the way she became the Empire's weapon. His voice breaks as he describes watching her turn away from everything she once believed. But he also says that people can change, that if he could change, if a selfish smuggler could become a rebel hero, then Leia could too. The verdict, when it comes, is mixed. She is not executed. The Alliance cannot bring itself to kill Bail Organa's daughter, especially with Mon Mothma and Luke advocating for mercy. But she is not exonerated either. She is placed on probationary status under Luke's direct supervision. She must prove herself through action, must demonstrate that her turn away from the Empire is genuine, must earn back the trust she destroyed. Many in the Alliance are furious with this decision. They see it as favoritism, as the leadership being too soft. Some even leave the Alliance in protest, unable to accept the Imperial Arbiter in their ranks. But others, seeing her genuine remorse and Luke's unwavering faith, are willing to give her a chance. Leia accepts the verdict without complaint. She knows she deserves worse, knows that in a just galaxy, she would be executed for what she has done. But she is being given an opportunity, and she will not waste it. She throws herself into the fight against the Empire with renewed purpose. But this time, it is different. She no longer seeks power for its own sake, no longer believes that order justifies tyranny, no longer trusts in simple solutions or absolute authority. She has seen the darkness, felt its seductive pull, and knows how easily good intentions can corrupt into evil acts. She has become skeptical, cautious, deeply aware of power's ability to corrupt. She uses the dark side training Palpatine gave her, but channels it differently. The lightning becomes a tool to disable rather than torture. The Force choke becomes a last resort rather than a first option. The mental manipulation becomes negotiation rather than control. She is still formidable, still dangerous, but now she questions every use of power, considers the cost, weighs the consequences. Luke helps her find balance. He teaches her what little he knows of the Jedi ways, gleaned from Obi-Wan and Yoda, meditation techniques to find peace, training exercises to channel the Force constructively, philosophy to guide the use of power. But Leia also teaches Luke, shows him that the Jedi's absolute rejection of emotion was flawed, that feelings, properly managed, can be strength. That attachment is not always weakness. Together, they forge a new understanding of the Force, one that acknowledges both light and dark, but refuses to be consumed by either, one that recognizes emotion as part of being human, but does not let emotion override judgment, one that uses power to protect rather than control, to liberate rather than dominate. They are creating something new, a synthesis that the old Jedi and Sith never achieved. They recruit others to this philosophy. Former Imperials seeking redemption, Jedi survivors trying to find a new way, Force sensitives discovered across the galaxy. They build a force of individuals who understand that the galaxy is not divided into absolute good and evil, that people can change, that redemption is always possible, that darkness can be resisted without denying its existence. The road is long and painful. Leia must rebuild trust, one interaction at a time. She volunteers for the most dangerous missions, the ones no one else wants. She puts herself at risk repeatedly, proving her commitment. Slowly, grudgingly, people begin to accept her. Not forgive, perhaps. The wounds are too fresh for that. But accept that she is trying, that she genuinely regrets her actions, that she is working to be better. Han eventually forgives her, though their relationship is forever changed. They love each other still, but it is a scarred love, marked by betrayal and pain and hard-won understanding. They cannot pretend the past did not happen, cannot go back to what they were, but they can move forward, building something new from the ruins of what was. It is not the romance of fairy tales. It is messy and complicated and real. And perhaps that makes it stronger. Mon Mothma becomes an unexpected mentor. The older woman sees potential in Leia that others miss. She helps channel Leia's political skills, teaching her how to navigate the complex process of building a new republic, how to negotiate without manipulation, how to lead without dominating, how to use power responsibly. She becomes the mentor Palpatine pretended to be, offering genuine wisdom rather than twisted manipulation. And in quiet moments, Leia mourns her father. She places flowers on an empty grave, not for Darth Vader, but for Anakin Skywalker, the man who fell so far but found his way back at the end, who gave his life to save his children, who proved that redemption is possible even for the most fallen. She tells him about her day, about her struggles and successes, talks to him as if he was still alive, still listening. And through the Force, perhaps he is. The Empire falls, but it is a gradual process. Systems liberate themselves. Imperial officers defect or are defeated. The massive war machine that Palpatine built slowly dismantles. And through it all, Leia works to ensure the new Republic does not make the same mistakes as the old. She pushes for accountability, for checks on power, for systems that prevent any one person from gaining too much control. She becomes a voice for balance, for nuance, for understanding that good and evil are not always clearly defined, that people can change, that redemption must be possible. Or what is the point of fighting? Some see her as too soft, too willing to forgive. Others see her as too harsh, unable to move past her own darkness. But she continues anyway, because it is what her parents would have wanted. All of them. The galaxy does not divide neatly into light and dark after Palpatine's fall. There are shades of gray everywhere. Former Imperials who served, but now seek atonement. Rebels who committed atrocities in the name of freedom. Neutral parties who profited from the war. And Leia learns to navigate this complexity, having lived it herself. She understands power's temptations and guards against them, both in herself and others. When Luke establishes his new Jedi Order, Leia is there beside him. Not as a traditional Jedi, she will never be that, but as something new, a guardian who has walked in darkness and returned to light. A teacher who can show students the dangers of absolute thinking. A symbol that redemption is always possible, no matter how far one has fallen. She trains those who have touched darkness, who know its seduction, helping them find their way back. She teaches them that falling does not define you, that mistakes, no matter how terrible, can be overcome, that the measure of a person is not their worst moment, but their willingness to grow from it. She is living proof that you can lose your way and still find it again, that you can embrace darkness and still choose light. That family, love, and hope can overcome even the deepest corruption. And years later, when she looks back on her time as the Imperial Arbiter, she does not hide from it, does not pretend it never happened, or make excuses. Instead, she acknowledges it, learns from it, uses it to be better. The scars remain, physical and psychological, but scars are proof of survival, proof that wounds can heal, proof that even the most damaged soul can find its way home. She becomes a leader the new republic needs. One who understands that power corrupts and guards against that corruption. One who knows that good intentions can lead to evil acts and questions every decision. One who has seen both sides and refuses to be blinded by ideology. A senator who knows that order and freedom must balance, not conflict. A symbol that the galaxy is not doomed to repeat its mistakes. And when she holds her own children years later, when she sees them strong and bright and full of hope, she tells them stories. Not sanitized tales of heroes and villains, but honest accounts of real people who made mistakes and learned from them. She tells them about Anakin Skywalker, who fell but redeemed himself in the end. About Luke, who never gave up on his sister even when she gave up on herself. About Han, who forgave the unforgivable. About Mon Mothma, who showed compassion to those who did not deserve it. She teaches them that the Force is not light or dark, but both. That emotions are not weakness, but part of being alive. That power is not inherently evil, but must be wielded carefully. That mistakes are inevitable, but redemption is always possible. She prepares them for a complex galaxy that does not offer easy answers, because she knows from bitter experience what happens when you believe in simple solutions. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.